This is Ahval Online, meeting point of accurate news and free comment on the current affairs of Turkey. Welcome to our podcast series. Hello and welcome to Hot Pursuit, part of Ahval's podcast and video series. Today we are going to speak about the Turkish dimension of the Russian occupation, invasion of Ukraine and its repercussions, especially over Turkey, how the Turkish administration is, quote unquote, performing regarding this crisis. My guest is joining me from Stockholm, Sweden, Suat Kınıklıoğlu, former deputy of Turkish parliament and one of the keen observers and top experts on Turkish foreign policy. Good to talk to you, Suat.
Thank you, Yavuz. It's great to be here.
Simply, how do you regard and how do you see the Erdoğan government's administration's stand so far, performance so far regarding the Russian invasion of the Ukraine on diplomatic and also on military aspects?
Well, first of all, I think the Erdoğan government's decision to sell the TB2 UAVs to Ukraine has been, in my view, a correct decision. We now see that these weapons, these sophisticated weapons, are having an impact on the field in Ukraine's efforts to fend off the Russian invasion. On the political and diplomatic side, sympathy is with Ukraine, but Turkey is understandably cautious and is following very much closely what other NATO allies and the European Union is doing. I think at the beginning...
But the impression is sort of lagging behind. For example, more than 15 countries so far declared, for example, no-fly zone, which Turkey didn't.
Yes.
It could have shut down the straits, Dardanelles and
yes.
Istanbul Straits. It didn't. And it is quite low-key, isn't it?
Yes, it is low-key. Also, in the Council of Europe vote, Turkey abstained rather than supporting the motion to freeze Russian membership in the Council of Union. So it's true. It's very low-key. It's timid, and I think the reason is because Turkey has been building, despite many criticisms, including from people like me, this interdependency with Russia on energy, on trade, on tourism, on military defense industry cooperation. So this dependency and of course the nature of Vladimir Putin's leadership has made Turkey's reaction and room of maneuver very timid and low-key. Turkey probably will only take real action once it is clear that Ukraine or the Western alliance is having the upper hand. I don't expect anything more than sympathy and as you described, a low-key diplomatic performance at this time.
Also, in relation to that, both countries are not at loggerheads, perhaps, but face-to-face in Syria, which is the Assad regime is basically protected by Russian Putin administration, and Turkey has been constantly trying to control the northern border strip of the Syrian soil. Do you see any changes there, depending on the outcome of the crisis or war?
Well, the outcome of this invasion will probably have an impact on what will happen in northern Syria, and also the role and effectiveness of the Russian military presence there. So I'm sure President Assad is very nervous at the moment. If things are going to turn around in Ukraine, and there would be an embarrassing sort of withdrawal of Russian forces, I think this could have a very detrimental impact on the Russian presence in Syria. I don't expect a direct confrontation between Turkish and Russian forces unless it is provoked by the Russian side. But it's too early to tell. But in a scenario where Russia is heavily embarrassed and has to withdraw from Ukraine, there could be a lot of pressure on particularly from domestic Russian forces, that Russia might have to decrease or lessen its influence in Syria. Who knows? But at the moment, it seems to be stable, and this is probably, all of the sides are probably in sort of wait and see mode on what will happen in Ukraine.
Suat Kınıklıoğlu joining me from Stockholm, Sweden, a top expert on Turkish foreign policy and the former deputy of Turkish Parliament. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you, Yavuz.
You can follow Ahval News Online podcast series through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Spreaker. All you need to know about Turkey is here, for your ears, mind, and attention. Thank you for listening to our podcast.